Today, let's begin with the first part of the lesson Christmas morning. I'm Melaine from English Made Easy. This channel is dedicated to creating easy and interesting lessons so that you can improve your English in an enjoyable way. If you like the lesson, do hit that like button. And if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. That way, you will get notified each time I post new content and you can enjoy each lesson at your earliest. I also want to thank all those who have supported my channel so far by subscribing to it. Well, Christmas Morning is an extract from Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. It's pronounced as women. One woman, many women. Women. So it's Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. The story is based on the lives of the four March sisters Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. Scholars classify the book as an autobiography or a semi autobiography because they believe that the story revolves around the author's own life. I will be explaining the meanings of the new words to you before I read the text. I am doing that so that you will understand the text better when you see how the words are used in it. I have numerous oral questions and answers to help you to understand the text better. Please also pay careful attention to the spelling and pronunciation of the words. At the end of the lesson, I have some multiple choice questions for you to do. If you get all the answers right, then you will know that you have understood the text very well. If you do not know some of the answers, then it would be wise for you to read the text once more or maybe even several times until you are sure that you have understood it well. Okay? Christmas Morning, adapted from Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Here are the new words that I told you about. The first new word is crimson. Try and understand what the word means by the way it is used in this sentence. The wild carnations were crimson. So, what do you think it means? Look at the picture carefully. What does crimson mean? Crimson means deep red. I hope you guessed that. That was easy. The next new word is cologne, pronounced as cologne. There was a strong smell of cologne in the room. What do you think cologne means? And if you guessed that it is a type of perfume, then you are absolutely right. Cologne is a type of perfume. We have another new word in this part of the text, and it is buckwheat. She stared at the bowl of buckwheat porridge. Do you know what buckwheat means now? Let's see. Buckwheat's a dish made with flour from the buckwheat plant. A dish made with flour from the buckwheat plant. Those are the three new words that you will come across in this part of the text. And now I will start reading the pages to you. Please pay careful attention. Although it is a tradition to exchange gifts for Christmas, Mrs. March had told her daughters that there would be no Christmas gifts for them as there was a shortage of money due to the ongoing war. However, she did promise that they would find a book each under their pillows. At first, the girls thought that Christmas would not be Christmas without presents and decided to buy themselves a gift each with their pocket money. Then they changed their minds and decided to each buy a gift for their mother, Mommy. Let's read a story that describes Christmas morning at the March home. Jo was the first to wake up in the grey dawn of Christmas morning. She remembered her mother's promise and, slipping her hand under her pillow, drew out a little crimson covered book. She woke Meg with a Merry Christmas and told her to see what was under her pillow. There was a green book with the same picture inside and a few words written by their mother, which made their one present very precious in their eyes. Presently, Beth and Amy also woke up and found their little books, one dove colored, the other blue, and all sat looking at and talking about them, while the east grew rosy with the coming day. Where is mother? Asked Meg, as she and Joe ran down to the kitchen to thank their mother for their gifts half an hour later. Let me see if you can answer a few oral questions based on just this one page. Who was the first to wake up? Joe was the first to wake up. What did she find under her pillow? She found a crimson covered book under her pillow. Who had given her that gift? Her mother had given her that gift. Who did Joe wake up? Joe woke Meg up. What was the color of Meg's book? Meg's book was green in color. What made the present special? The presents were special to the girls because their mother had written a few words in each book. What was the color of Beth and Amy's books? Beth's book was dove colored and Amy's book was blue. Explain this line that you can see here. While the east grew rosy with the coming day, what does that mean? The east, direction east, is growing rosy. Rosy meaning color of a rose, reddish. With the coming day, day has not yet come. So, what does that mean? It just means that the sun is rising. In the beginning, when Joe woke up, it was dawn. What's dawn? Dawn is the time of the day that's just before sunrise. And now the sun was rising. Where did Meg and Joe go in search of their mother? They went to the kitchen in search of their mother. Let's go to the next page. Some poor person came asking for help, said Hannah, and your ma went straight off to see what was needed. Hannah, their housekeeper, had lived with them since Meg was born and was now part of their family. She will be back soon, I think. So fry your cakes and have everything ready, said Meg, looking over the presents which were collected in a basket and kept under the sofa, ready to be presented to their mother at the proper time. Joe was dancing about the room to take the first stiffness off the new slippers that she had got for their mother. Beth had marked a handkerchief for her and picked her a beautiful rose from the garden, and Amy had bought her a little bottle of cologne. There's mother, hide the basket, quick, cried Joe as a door slammed, followed by footsteps in the hall. They quickly hid the basket under the sofa. Merry Christmas, Mommy. Thank you for our books. We read a few pages and mean to every day, they all said in chorus. And now I have a few questions for you. Let's see if you can answer them all. Where had their mother gone? Someone had come asking for help, and their mother had gone to see what was needed. Who told them that? Hannah told them that. Who was Hannah? Hannah was the housekeeper. What was in the basket? The basket had gifts for the girl's mother. Where did they hide the basket? They hid the basket under the sofa. Why was Joe dancing about the room? Joe was dancing about the room to take the first stiffness off the new slippers that she had got for their mother. What gifts did Beth have for her mother? Beth had two things for their mother. Beth had a handkerchief and she had picked a beautiful rose from the garden. What was Amy's gift? Amy had bought her mother a bottle of cologne. What did they call their mother? They called their mother Mommy, Marmee. Going to the next page now. Merry Christmas, little daughters. I'm glad you began reading at once and hope you will keep on reading. But I want to say one word before we sit down. Not far from here lives a poor woman, Mrs. Hummel, with a little newborn baby. 6 children are huddled into one bed to keep from freezing, for they have no fire. There is nothing to eat over there, and the oldest boy came to tell me they were hungry and cold. My girls, will you give them your breakfast as a Christmas present? They were all unusually hungry, having waited nearly an hour, and for a minute no one spoke. Only a minute. And then Joe exclaimed, I'm so glad you came before we began. Let's take our breakfast there. May I go and help carry the things to the poor little children? Asked Beth eagerly. I shall take the muffins, added Amy heroically, giving up the article she most liked. Meg was already covering the buckwheats and piling the bread into one big plate. I thought you'd do it, said Mrs. March, smiling. You shall all go and help me, and when we come back, we will have bread and milk for breakfast. We'll have a nice dinner to make up for giving up our breakfast. Let's see if you can answer a few questions orally. How many children did Mrs. Hummel have under the quilt? There were 6 children under the quilt. Why were they feeling cold? They were feeling cold because they had no fire. Who told Mrs. March that the Hummels were hungry and cold? The oldest boy came and told Mrs. March that they were hungry and cold. What did Mrs. March ask the girls to do? Mrs. March asked the girls to give up their breakfast. Did they agree? Yes, they did agree. Name 2 things that the girls decided to take for the Hummels. The girls decided to take muffins and buckwheats for the Hummels. What was the Marchers' breakfast going to be? The Marchers' breakfast was going to be bread and milk. What did their mother promise them? Their mother promised that they would have a nice dinner to make up for giving up their breakfast. I hope you understood the text very well. And now I have a few multiple choice questions for you to do. Are you ready? Please keep a pen and a book in front of you before you start. And like I did before, I will show you the question and the options, and you have to pick the right option as fast as you can and write it down in your book. You don't have to write the word, you have to just write A, B, or C, or 1, 2, or 3, as the case might be. Write that down, and when you get your answer, you can tick it if you get it right, or put a cross there if you get it wrong. Like I said earlier, if you do get something wrong, please read this part of the text again. over and over again until you are sure that you have understood it well. All right, then we should proceed. I hope your book and pen is ready. Is it? Let's start. Dash was the first to wake up. Meg, Joe, Beth, or Amy? Who was the first to wake up? Joe. The next question. Meg's gift was a Dash book. Red, green, blue, yellow. Your answer? Green. Hannah was the housekeeper, their mother, their friend. Who was Hannah? Or their neighbor? Who was Hannah? Their housekeeper. The girls kept the basket of presents under the table, bed, kitchen counter, sofa. Choose the right one. And the right answer is sofa. Amy had brought a dash for her mother. Rose, pair of slippers, handkerchief, bottle of cologne. What's the right answer? Bottle of cologne. The girls called their mother Mummy, Mommy, Mum, Mama. What do you call your mother? The answer? Mommy. Not anything like what you would call your mother, right? Mommy asked the girls to give the Hummels their slippers, clothes, breakfast, sweets. And the right answer is, and has to be, breakfast. Here's your last question for today. Amy's favorite food item was the muffins, porridge, bread, or chips. Muffins. That was the right answer. I hope you understood the text well and you were able to answer all the questions. If there is any part of the text that you do not understand, please tell me in the comments below and I will explain only that part of the text to you again in detail. Also, if there is any question that you cannot answer for some reason, anything you want me to explain again, do let me know about that as well. The next lesson in the book is Red Eye. So do watch part 1 and then part 2 if you have not already done so. Also, I have some multiple choice questions for you to do based on that lesson. Here is a link to Red Eye part 1. My next lesson will be the second part of this one, Christmas morning. So please read the first part very well today. If you don't read the first part well, you will have difficulty understanding the second part. So please do read the first part today very well, over and over again. Until we meet again, stay safe.